Okay, good afternoon, folks. I'm a little bit late. Speedy, how you doing? Okay, right, let's have a little look. It's Friday, the 12th of April. We have some news coming up in around about 25 minutes. So let's just pop that up there. Now, I did take a trade, but got out for a point. Initially, I had that like that. It looked like an overshoot, so I took it as a triple test. And I panicked and got out of it. It started to get red there, and it crossed up and come up, and I got out for a tick. And luckily so as well, as the thing came down. Got a little bit too excited there, I think. So let me just have a look. It's all right. I just nipped off to make myself a drink. So let's have a little look. So let me just reload my historic. Hopefully. Come on, are you doing? Are you done? Okay. So, touch, maybe an overshoot. I'm just wondering whether we're going to make a new low from this. I think it's certainly possible. Okie dokie. What have we got in here? Beautiful. Okay, let's have a look. We did have that bit of a rally, didn't we, towards the end of the day? So I've got an extra PA this morning, so I'm up to 5 now. I think I'm just going to leave it there and see what happens. Not do anything until I take a payout now. So let's have a look at this possible second entry long there on the NQ. Let me just see. We've already had a break and a new low on the NQ, so maybe we have had a break there. Let me have a look. Could probably adjust it a bit. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, let's say we've had a break and a new low. So nevertheless, that is the overshoot, so I want to be careful going long just in case we get a bit of a correction. Yeah, looking at the daily, we're getting a little bit of congestion here now, so it's hard to say what's going to happen. We had that big bearish bar look like a lower high. It eventually triggered a couple of days ago. So we're just going a bit sideways, really. I mean, we've had such strong momentum, really, since, what, late November. We've been up. I mean, it's been moving up really strongly. It's come up 1,000 points, basically. Well, over 1,000 points. So it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen today. We could come down and bounce again. We could go up. But there's definitely some support along there. You can see it going back that way. So when it gets close to it there, we rejected. We came back again, rejected again, came back. But we haven't closed on that line or below it, so it's holding. So we just have to keep an eye on that. So this news is coming up. In fact, let me put something on there, otherwise I'm going to forget it. It's 1,500 hours, isn't it? Let me look. 1,500. Okay, so let's have a look what's going on here. So there is a strong bull bar there, which is triggered. Now, after that overshoot, I'd be a little bit careful about going long, unless I've drawn this some other way, but it fits to me. Let's have a look, see what Tony Jeffrey, how you doing, bud? So there is a failure there, but I would be a little bit unsure about. In fact, let me have a look at this. We may be getting a triple test here. So once, twice, three times. After that overshoot, I'd expect either a correction or maybe to come down and sort of revisit this area down here. So 1, 2, 3. Just not sure about this. It's not filling me full of confidence, so I'm just sitting tight at the moment. But I would not like to be in that long or that long because of the overshoot. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down, takes out 1, 2, 3, lots of stops. I dare say there'll be longs there, maybe the higher low. But I want to see that flush down. I'm not getting involved here because it is a little bit sideways, but we do seem to be coming down on the NQ, so that is corresponding with what I'm seeing here. We'll see. See what happens. We are struggling to get up now, so I want to see a flush down. Trap some longs there because of this overshoot, if I'm seeing it right. So come on down. Below. In fact, we've already broke below that one. That one and that one, I think, are key. Sometimes when we do get an overshoot, we will make a tempt and then a drop. So I don't think we're going to push up and make a new high from here after this overshoot, so I can still see it flushing down. Whenever we really struggle, one thing I notice, whenever we really struggle to get up and it's very slow, it comes down quick. Just wondering whether there's going to be any sell orders above this line. Yeah, this is coming down, this is. So first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. If this finishes bearish, for me this is coming down. I'm staying out of it because it is a bit sideways, but I reckon that'd work for at least a scalp. It's definitely coming down for me, definitely. Below there and there. Drop. So I'm looking for at least a correction. I don't think we've quite had a correction yet. Maybe we have, not far off it. Leg and a leg. I still don't think it's enough, to be honest with you. If you're buying this market, surely it's got to be at least down here, isn't it? Or not? It's not much of a correction. Okay, maybe some more longs trapped there. So 1, 2, 3. Surely that is a triple test. Surely That wasn't a very good bar. If this finishes bearish, that's a triple test. I expect to get ideally down a tick below there. Okay, come on. I don't know. It's just a bit strange, this overshoot. Maybe this is the one. Come down bearish. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what's going on. Maybe this will fail and come down. Okay, maybe there's a wider channel. Maybe it's not a overshoot. Maybe there is a wider channel. Trouble is, I'd expect that to continue sideways till it finds some sort of support. It's unusual that. The wider channels usually start from here, don't they? Strange. I wasn't expecting that. If it stops there, then yeah, there's a wider channel, I'd say. Keep in mind that news, folks. What is it? Prelim consumer sentiment. Okay, yeah, there is a bigger channel. Robin, how you doing, buddy? I have been out for a week or so. You have now 5 PAs. How did you do that? Awesome. Well, I had a few anyway. I passed one a couple of days ago, and I had a go at. I noticed the Alpines trader says he trades the news and that's how he passes some of his. So I had a go at it, and I did it there. What I did is I thought about just buying the market, but I thought, what's the point? Because if it drops down, it's going to stop me out. I'd rather put an order in, and I put an order in just above there. It shot down, so it didn't trigger me order, and then it shot up. And I went 5 contracts. I didn't want to go 10 contracts. I wanted to, because sometimes if it does trigger, it'll drop and then push up. So I went, I think it was about here. So I went 5 contracts, and I was looking for 12 points or 12 and a quarter points, which was there basically. So I passed another one yesterday. I've never done it before, but I hear a few traders talking about it. Now, I thought about, do I do 2 trades, go long and short? But I know, I'm just wondering, I have a feeling he has an OCO order, which I believe, I used to have a piece of software called One Click Trade. I've still got it actually, and that's got OCO orders. And I think what it does, if you're not sure which way the market's going, then I think this OCO order, what it does is it opens an order or a limit order above and below a certain bar. And if it shoots up and triggers the long, it cancels the short, and vice versa. So somebody told me that's how he does his trades as well. Because if you ever noticed him, he won't tell you what his trading strategy is. Why, I don't know. He's concerned that Apex won't like it. But as far as I'm concerned, if the guy is green every single day, and he's withdrawn about $180,000 from the last 3 or 4 months, he's obviously a good trader. It doesn't matter how you trade it. They don't like you trading the news. Even so, though, I've heard him said you can do it as long as it's your normal strategy. So whatever strategy he's using, he seems to think it's not suitable. It's not going to be liked. I don't seem to understand how that can happen. If you make money, if you're making a ton of money from the as far as I'm concerned, I take my hat off to you. You're a damn good trader. Regardless of your so I don't quite know what he does, but he doesn't like telling people. But somebody told me that he trades the open, and he does it with an OCO order. But then he said he doesn't use trade copier as well. So how can he trade 12 or 14? How can he have 12 or 14 PA accounts all in green just after the market opens without using one? So I don't quite really know. One of these issues, Apex could rise its trading without a stop. One of these issues, Apex could rise its trading without a stop. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, some traders don't use stops. I've always been taught to use a stop because it's your protection, isn't it? But at the end of the day, if some traders do trade without a stop, and if you trade without a stop and you can still make money out of it, I don't see it's a problem. I mean, he doesn't use a stop. He's not, he doesn't try to cover that up, because sometimes he will take a trade throughout the day, but he doesn't try and cover it up. So I don't quite know. He has a built-in. Yeah, I know he's got a built-in one, but I've heard a couple of people ask the question, and he's mentioned I might start trade copying. But how can you have 15 PA accounts in the green, $200 to $300, 5 minutes after the market opens, and not trade them a copy? You can't take that many winning trades a day. If he's taking 15 winning trades every single day, something's not right. He's got to be using a copier. So I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand. But I wish he'd tell me his strategy, because it's bloody good. He does copy. He just doesn't usually do it every account. Yeah, I've heard that. But if you look at his account when he opens, have a look sometime. Have a look later. He's always up $3,000 or $4,000 over his accounts, literally just as the market opens. So I don't know what the hell he does, but what I think we should do is we should all put our money together and hire some sort of big beefy burly guy to try and get it out of him what he does. But I don't see how he thinks Apex won't like it. If you make money out of the markets day in, day out, month in, month out, you're a good trader. Pretty sure Apex just want to copy what he does. Copies 3 to 5. Okay, all right, that makes sense. So say 3 trades. But yeah, someone told me he trades with an OCO order at the market open, and he goes for more contracts. but very few points. Is it 6 or 8 points on the NASDAQ or something like that? Not many. I'm just wondering, we're holding it. We got a leg and a leg, and we're clearly working up there. So I'm not sure because of this. But yeah, 22 ticks is it? So what's that? Is that the same? Is that the same point system as is it still 4 ticks to a point? Maybe Apex deposit the money in his account. He's told to shut up about it. In all honesty, Robin, you really never know, do you? You don't know what they do, because if you're, let's say you're a streamer like me, and if I'm making 100,000 every couple of months, and you guys all start copying me, you're not going to be blowing accounts and you're making money. So that can't be good for Apex's business model. So I don't quite know whether, whether they say, whether Apex have put pressure and said, look, we don't want you advertising to people. I don't quite know, to be honest with you. But you really never know what goes on in the background, do you? So yeah, I'd say there may be some truth in that, Robin. It is, but NQ moves a lot more. That's what I mean. See, if you jumped in, now we all know when the market officially opens, New York time, there's a little bit of volatility. It starts giving it some of that, doesn't it? And if you see maybe a move up or something, or you've got an indication that the move's going up, and you drop in an order, he's after a very small movement and he doesn't use a stop. But if you use an OCO order and it triggers the long, it cancels the stop. And how this thing moves, it could very easily trigger it and win the trade quickly. So I'd like to know what he does do, because he said that he trades before he comes on the stream, but he doesn't want to make the stream boring, so he takes random trades throughout the day. And I've seen him do that, and I've seen him lose accounts. So as far as I'm concerned, if I was making $50,000 a month, why carry on trading? Trade the open and go and enjoy the money. It doesn't make sense that he carries on and then trades something that he's not used to and loses money. I don't get it. He's making the money, but he's very adjusted to prop firms. Not trade like that on a single live account. Yeah, there is a big difference, isn't there, between trading. If I'm risking sort of on here maybe $250, $300. Now, if you bundle them all together, and I'd be risking 5 times that money floating in front of your eyes is going to affect you a little bit different, isn't it? But I mean, he's making money, so he's doing something right. I think he's making $50,000-$60,000 a month. I mean, that's not pocket change, is it? I think we'd all love to be making that. I certainly would. But he said he doesn't want to make the stream boring. Well, why even stream? If if he can turn up for 10, 15 minutes before the open, make his money, why carry on for another 3 or 4 hours? What you make off YouTube will be pennies to what he's making as a trading those accounts. So I don't quite know. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? But I would love to know what he does, but somebody did tell me, well, they're pretty sure that he trades an OCO order. I don't exactly know what it stands for, but I believe if you drop one in, it's a long and a short at the same time. If one triggers, the other cancels and vice versa. So maybe he needs to flip a lot of accounts. Yeah, what he does is as soon as he gets above that $2,600, $3,000 range, is he withdraws his $2,000 and effectively that account's paid for itself, and then he reduces the size on it and just tries to let it run. So I actually kind of like it in a way, but yeah, you have got a high turnover of PA accounts, and whether Apex will like that or not, I don't know. Maybe not. Does it matter? If he's making the money, at least they're getting some extra money with the extra PAs, aren't they? So I don't know. But I don't know why he keeps it quiet unless Apex have said something. But if you're a streamer and you're making a ton of money, it doesn't take much for people to start copying you. And then all of a sudden, Apex are having less accounts blown. And people who ordinarily haven't got the skills to trade will be making money potentially. I mean, in all honesty, I think my trading skills are not bad, but if Mac started streaming and started, I'd start copying his trades. Although I think my trading skill is a lot better, I still don't put it anywhere close to Mac. So if he was taking trades and I had the ability to copy him, I damn well would do. I think anybody would. You know, we know he's a successful trader. He's been doing it 25 years plus. I certainly rather copy his trades than take my own. So we do seem to have a channel up here. We've had a break of it, so I think it's likely we're going to do that. I just don't like this, the fact that we got this big vacant area here. Is this just a bigger range? It might be, actually. We may have just gone up and started ranging with a breakout that's failed. Okay, there's that. I wonder what the hell was going on then. This news. See, if you'd have had an order there, an OCO order, did it shoot up first? I don't know. If you'd have had a long and a short, it went up 1.5 and it's come down over 6 points. So if you were trading, let's say we had 90% off, so $15, isn't it? Something like $17. If you had two of them, a long and a short, and you went long there and short there, your long would lose, your short would win. So for $30 or $35 for two, you'd be on a PA account tomorrow. So I don't mind doing that, because especially when you got 1 day to pass, if you can get it past today and move on to a live account tomorrow, at least then you're potentially making money, aren't you? So I don't mind trading the news. Apex haven't got a problem with it, and if I can be on a live account within a day, then happy days. Yeah, Akitra, yeah, he's making money and he's adjusted to prop firms. So if all of a sudden something happened with Apex or they kicked him out or something, he'd probably make money. Well, he'd make money, but he wouldn't probably make as much, would he? It does make you wonder, though. You know, these prop firms are bending over backwards for us, aren't they, to give us offers? We'd be screwed without them. We wouldn't be able to make any money. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't got $20,000, $30,000 sat in a bank which I can just, you know, hook into. You know, I haven't got a choice really, so we need them a lot more than they need us. I just hope they never realise that. Otherwise, we're knackered. Okay, so I am wondering whether we are going to retest this area. Now, I've drawn that as a possible break and a new low, but there is a chance we could come down and retest these, but we've got a channel up there. Is this 2 attempts to go low? So we've got a break of it, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. It's definitely the whole thing's looking a bit more sideways on the NQ. But, you know, if he's making the money, I got to give him respect. I know how difficult learning to trade is, and trading and making consistent money is. And anybody that does it, as far as I'm concerned, has my respect, because I know what effort and hard work it takes to get there, and a lot of heartache and a lot of misery as well. So if anybody's making money, I'll put my hand out to them, absolutely. Let me just see if there's a bigger channel going on here. Actually, there could well be. Okay, so there is what I think is a bigger channel. We've got a touch, close enough, a touch and a touch, and we've got a break. So this to me looks like it is trying to make a new low. Have we got it on the ES? I'm not so sure we have. Maybe. Actually, we've got a touch, a touch, and a touch. So that does look like we are trying to make a new low. Trouble is with this channel and a couple of attempts to go lower, it could push back up. I would say the NQ is looking more like it's pushing to make a new low, and if this does come down and make a new low, this will follow it. Whether it gets to a new low, I don't know, but channel with a break. Was there a second entry short there? Not really. Touch, touch, touch. So I'd say there's a channel there. Touch, touch. With a break and a new low. Still not a fan of this. Just wondering whether this is just this and then it goes sideways, maybe. So this is just 2 legs up, I think. I think this might be a bigger channel. Okay, that news is done. I think we're finished with the news. Yeah. So touch, touch. Maybe a couple of legs and a break. That's interesting. Possible second entry short there. Trouble is we've already had a break and a new low. As much as tempting as that looks, and it does look tempting, it is a second entry short. We've gone up to the EMA and rejected it. In fact, that's probably rejected off the bottom of there, isn't it? Which makes it even more appealing. But as we've had a touch, touch, touch and a break and a new low, I'm just staying out of this. Do I think it'll work? Possibly. I'm just a bit unsure as to what I'm seeing going on at the moment. I think it will work. It is 2 legs up, and we've got some bearish bars there, so I think it's likely. Yeah, it did. I just don't like it as we've already had a break. Or is it a break? Is it just 2 touches on the underside? We've come down and we've got a fact. 1 in 30,000. What does that mean? So maybe it's like a triple test here, 1, 2, 3. So maybe it's not that bad. Let me have a look. Maybe there is a bigger channel there. I'm not so sure what I'm seeing here. So initially, I think we've got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. So don't do that. So there's a bit of a channel there. It's not the neatest of channels. It is a bit out of sorts here. Touch, 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 and then we had a break, and it pushed down and made a new low. And then we had a second entry short. That normally is a little bit too far from the EMA. I prefer that body. Having said that, we've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to this underside, and it's rejected the 3rd time. So perhaps that was okay. My concern was the break and the new low. Now, a lot of times when we have a break, we'll have 2 pushes to a new low, but you just took that. It was very iffy on the second. It's one of those things you just... At the time, so I'm looking at this, and straight away I'm thinking channel. No, it's not the best looking channel in the world. We've already had a break and a new low. So what do I do here? But sometimes it moves a bit quick and you don't have a lot of time to think. But we have had 1, 2, 3 pushes up, to be fair, and a bearish bar. So it's actually not that bad, I don't think. What's the risk? If you want a tick above it and a tick below it, it's still a 3.5 point risk. It's not small at the moment. So if you're not sure, the thing is, if you lose a trade, one thing you can guarantee is you're never going to lose a penny. So it is a second entry short and it's testing this. So if I'd have had a few minutes to think about it, I'd have probably taken it. But as it was quite quick and it is a bit choppy and a bit messy, I think the safest option for me was to just leave it. Not only that, is we do look like we're pushing down to make a new low, and we have made a new low, so there looks a couple of legs. So sometimes a quick glance onto the NQ might boost your confidence. And we were back at the EMA. In fact, they look like a little triple top here, and that one's slightly higher, and then it came down. But that's why I sometimes like this NQ. It just helps my decision making. Lance, did you make your money back? What money, bud? What money are you on about, bud? So, you mean from the start? You mean, have I made everything back? Is that what you mean? I'm not far off, mate. I'm not far off. 1, 2. There's like a hidden fact. 1, 2. There's a triple test there, isn't there? Trouble is, we've already made a new low here.
Order submitted.
Bad trade there. It's 14 ticks. 15, 16, 12, 34. It's 4 point risk. 1, 2, 3 triple test. No, I'm staying out of this. And I'll tell you why. We've had a break. 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. I'm just not sure. It's probably going to work, but it's a big bar. And we've already made a new low on the NQ, so I'm not sure about that. It is a triple test, so I think that would work. But it's 14 ticks. And we've already made a new low on the NQ. It's tempting if it wasn't such a big risk. We've made a new low there, and we've had one leg up. We could get another leg up. Yeah, it is working. Just I'm not sure because it's such a big risk. Do I pay? Well, I mean, you pay if you're part of Mac's website, you pay $125 per year, and the bits you get free included in that is this indicator, which gives you the news, and that indicator, which gives you the tools at the top. There are a couple of other bits as well, but yeah, they're all sort of all within the price, really. Let's see what you'd have got here. So if you'd have taken it a tick below there, you'd have got 2 points out of it. There is kind of a lower high there. My concern is we've already made a new low on this, so we could have 2 legs back. I mean, are we coming down to these lows? Are we going to get here or not? There's a failed second entry short possibly there. Just not sure about this. It would have made just 2 points, and it may come down some more. The bit that concerns me is that we've already made a new low on the NQ. It is a bit sideways here, but it is a triple test nonetheless. But because we've made a new low on the NQ, that made me feel a little bit concerned. It was a 14 tick bar. So a tick above, tick below, it's 4 points. So I'm risking $400 per account, 5 accounts. I'm risking $2,000 total after we've already made a new low on the NQ. So I'm just a bit nervous about that. I think it's probably going to come rushing down. But I just don't like it when it starts to do this. That's interesting. There's a failure there. What to do? It's just sideways. It's probably going to work. I just don't like it. It's going a bit sideways now. The NQ making the new low is making me a bit nervous. Same again, it's 14 ticks, 15 ticks. It's another 4-point risk. I'd say it's very likely going to push down. I don't want to risk that much when it's a bit sideways and we've already made a new low. It's just making me a bit nervous. 2 points on second entry. Yeah, usually I've got mine set to usually I have it set to 10 ticks. So I like to, what I try and do is get in actually on the close with a limit order as opposed to 1 tick below. It depends. If I think it'll make it, then I'll usually go for 10 ticks. But usually around about 2 points. I took a trade yesterday, got out for 1.5. So it varies between 1.5 and 2.5 points. It depends what if we've got an absolute beauty setup and I think this is definitely coming down, then I'll hold out for the 10 ticks. So if you'd have gone lower, a tick below there, you'd have got 2 points again. So 2 points, 2 points there, but it's going a bit sideways. We've already had a break at this. 2 pushes down to a new low, and now we're going sideways. So I'm just a bit nervous. Now that's probably to do with the fact that I did have a few losing trades in a row. I seem to lose my mojo a little bit, and I seem to sort of almost forget how to take a trade. If anybody's experienced that, but it's a little bit choppy and a bit wicky. You can see it there, and here as well. So you just don't know. It may whip around. But my concern is we'd already made a new low on the NQ. So it may not get down here. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Personally, I think, see, if you look back on a lot of Mac's older videos, his maximum risk in a lot of cases was 1.5 points. But he said the maximum loss is 2 points. Now, those two trades there are both 4 points, so they're double that. So going for a point is for me, is a waste of time. You need to be one hell of a trader. Now, don't get me wrong, Mac does it. But he's got the luxury of being able to trade 15 contracts for a scalp and 5 contracts for a runner. I'll tell you something now. I would bet money that he makes a lot more out of his runners. So I would say his scalp is just his basic wage. And he's been doing it exactly the same. So if it's not broken, why try and fix it, So, right, that's pushed up above there. So it did work, but I just don't like it when it's whipping around. So that one would have worked and that one would have worked for 2 points. And it is a second entry short. And Mac will probably mark it. But Mac marks about a dozen trades. He doesn't take them all. So that, for me, it is a triple test. I will say that. And it clearly worked as a triple test. No argument. But the concerning bit for me is it was 4 points. And I just don't want to risk 4 points just at the moment. Jeff Trading had a live stream after he finished last night. He said the second entry long statement short was a go to set up to learn. Was a good setup to learn, you mean? Yeah, it is, absolutely. Let me have a look. That is a second entry short, a leg and a leg. But what you've got to understand is although it worked, look at that, it's congested. Now, when it's congested, the chance of it working is it drops. Now, although that's congested, I can still see what's going on. And the bit that's concerning me is the NQ had already made a new low. And as we know, when price makes a new low from two big, I mean, it's made two perfect legs down. Look at that. When it's made a new low already, prices can reverse. So when it starts to go sideways, that tells me there's a little bit of uncertainty. So I don't want to trade in uncertainty. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a triple test. If that had been 2 points, then I would have taken it. But as it was a 4-point risk, that's a $400 risk to make 200. I don't want to do that on that. Now, some may take it, some may leave it. It depends. You could take it on a limit order as it comes back. But I just, we've all got to make a decision about our trading, and only you can make that decision. Do I take a trade or do I leave it? Now, I've said many times before, and I've heard people say there is a lack of setups nowadays, but you only need one good setup a day. So I'd rather wait until I deem it a really good setup, if you know what I mean. The bit that's concerning me also is we've clearly had a break of this channel and 2 legs down to a new low. So that channel is played out. Now it's going sideways, and sometimes when it goes sideways, it'll then start to push back up. And it did. Now, don't get me wrong, it came down first, broke out the bottom first, but if it wouldn't have broke out the bottom, you wouldn't have got 2 points out of that. See, if it had bounced from the bottom up there, you'd have lost that trade. The fact is that it did push down. 1, 2, 3. That was definitely the better trade. But the bit that was making me nervous is the fact that the NQ had made a new low. Sometimes I think having the NQ sometimes can get you in more trouble than not. But in all honesty, I make more money and lose less money, combination of both, because of this. Now, whether because I've had a few losses lately, whether I'm just getting a little bit overcautious, that may be the case. It's crossed my mind. Maybe if I wouldn't have had those few losses in a row, maybe I'd have taken that and that. But they were both a 4-point risk. As I say, if they'd have been 2.5 points or 2 points, then I would have taken them. That one, certainly. That one, maybe not so much, because you've not got room to the lows. But we've come to the bottom of it. And we've had a strong push up. So it's just hard to say, isn't it? But it's definitely a triple test. Mac will mark that one. He may mark that one. He does say you've got to be out before the low. So if you put it a tick below there, you'd have probably... There's your tick below. You'd have probably got out. So it's a shame he doesn't trade on a Friday or work on do the live stream on a Friday. But that one he'll mark as a triple test. That one possibly. It is a failure. But you're not trapping what I would consider any decent size longs at all. So there's so many different variations to trading. It's not black and white. It's such a grey area. It's not as simple as there's a second entry short. Let's take it. The hardest part of trading is applying your strategy to the correct context. You can get that context so wrong and get yourself trapped into all sorts of problems. Trust me, I've done it over the last 3 years. So ultimately, you learning the setup, you can teach someone what a second entry is in 5 minutes, but getting them to apply it to the correct context takes years, really. Otherwise, the market will just chop you up, and it will. Sometimes I've gone in there thinking, yeah, I know setups, I know exactly what I've looked to, but I've applied them to the wrong context and got eaten alive. You know, the more you do this, the more you realise how hard it is. So there could be a triple test there. It's kind of okay, but we've already had a leg up sideways, so this is more like a bull flag to me. We've had a break there, or a break 2 legs plus here. So I think this has gone down enough just at the moment. So I think there's likely, this is starting to look like a bull flag. So it's likely, I would expect something along the lines of that. It may not, it may come down. Perhaps this is going to make an attempt to make a new low. But if this doesn't come down anymore and pushes up, the ES will follow it. Trouble is, when you get a few days of losses, it does tend to make you a little bit too overcautious. And you can kind of forget how to take a trade. And although I had a 1.5 yesterday on 4 accounts and I was pleased with that, it's still not quite got my confidence back. Is this coming down some more? Ultimately, you just don't know, do you? Yeah, it's not the cleanest looking chart today. There's a lot of this whipping up and down. There's some here, there's a lot here, there's some here, there's some down here. I'm not even a fan of that anymore. Make a habit of asking myself if the trade makes sense before I take it. Yeah, I tell you something, and I'll be honest with you right now from the get-go. Please, if you're new, do not take an evaluation. Trust me on that, because you will lose money. Now, I make a commission from Apex for you guys, but I would much rather you save your money. Take multiple counts when you're starting to make money and you can hold it, but trust me, if you're newish, stay on a sim. Really and honestly stay on a sim, because you can throw a ton of money. You know, the more money you've got, the more sort of excess capital you've got, the more money you'll spend. Trust me on that. I thought I knew it all. I started trading after 4 weeks. I got a week's worth of trades. We had a nice uptrend. I was just buying at the bottom and it was just working every time. I ended up jacking my job in. I gave up my job, put 5,000 quid in it, and within a month I'd lost it all. So this is way harder than it looks. If you're committed and you want to put in, I would say realistically, I would expect you to probably start to be more consistent and better. It's taken me 3 years, 3.5 years from a complete beginner, but 3 years trading this strategy. Not only have you got the skill to learn, you've got all the psychological battle that you've got to get through as well. So don't kid yourself and think that it's easy because you have a few wins. I just don't want you to chuck a ton of money on it. I'm talking to you now as if I'm talking to a young me before I started. Well, I don't know about young, but to a newbie me. So get on a sim where it's a lot more relaxing and you're not risking money. And just like Max says, take every trade you think that's a setup. And the best way to learn is by losing trades. You fail at trades, and then when you failed at a trade a certain amount of times, you start to pick things up and you start to learn. But it's a matter of lots of hours and very, very fine tuning that brain so it works correctly. And if you do that and you commit, you'll make a lot of money at trading. But it's not easy, trust me on that. I would say if I was to give you some advice on the best way to do it, I would say spend 12 months on a sim. Get to the stage where you're starting to get a little bit of understanding of what's going on, then maybe have a go at an evaluation, but stick with it. The evaluations when they're 80% off and 90% off. And then, although I still don't think you're ready for evaluations, you've got that other part of trading where you've got to start to get used to the emotional side of it, and that takes time in itself. So I would say stay on a sim for a year, and then for the next 12 months, just do one at a time, a couple of weeks, something like that, a couple of months, sorry. But just do one evaluation at a time, because if you're making a mistake and you're copying 10 trades, you're going to be losing 10 times the amount. So that's my bit of advice to you. But ask anybody how hard this is, and they'll tell you the truth. If they've been doing it for a while, it's really not easy. So look, mate, what's your name? Seblo, yeah? Anytime you want to message me, Facebook message me anytime, night or day. I'll happily talk trades. I'll give you, I'll tell you my honest opinion on stuff. And if I can help you in any way, make better decisions. And especially as a trade that's been doing it 3 years and chucked a ton of money, even if I can help you save some money and try and do it the right way, I'm happy to do that. I can talk trade. As you guys know, talking's I'm pretty good at. I can talk trade all day long. So if you want to message me anytime, night or day, weekend, I'll always get back to you. But it's good to have some guidance and someone you can just get a bit of advice from who's been in it for a while. Not necessarily to teach you what to do, to help you stay out of some of the pitfalls like losing money. But the good thing about trading, what I've found, is everyone will help you, people who are more experienced, because there's no competition. You know, it's not like your business is encroaching on mine and you're taking my customers. It doesn't work that way. So, you know, lots of people have helped me over the last few years. So I'm happy to do it back because trading it interests me anyway. So, you know, anytime you want to chat, just Facebook messenger me or email me or whatever you want to do, and I'll happily chat with you about it. No problem at all. Chad, what I've noticed, there is few trades I lose that what I won with a point target away. If you lose, generally it goes tick or two triggers. Yeah, it does. That's why a lot of times, depending on what the setup is, if we're in a trend, sometimes I'll give it an extra tick, because we've all heard Max say a lot of times it'll trigger out for one tick and then go in the same direction. So it's something I do quite a lot. Having said that, lately it hasn't seemed to work as much. I mean, look at this, for instance, this trade here, lower high. It's gone a bit too far for a lower high, but what happens? We could touch. What happens? We're taking that short because we think it's going to come down. It triggers the stop by 1 point and then drops. So if you'd have had your normal tick above there, that would have hit it. If you'd have given yourself an extra tick, you'd have made your profit there. So I will say it doesn't work as much as it used to. I tried to rush the passing evaluation. Go for another month, yeah. How long have you been trading completely from a complete beginner, bud? Let me know. Let me know how long you've been trading. Channel leg down, break. I'm not looking to take a short here at the moment because we seem to be going sideways and I don't want to be going short right to the bottoms. Whether it'll work or not is irrelevant. Started trading futures in August. Right, August, so September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So you're coming up 8 months. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, I know the desire to want to trade money, and it is useful to have that experience. So if you're going to take an evaluation or use evaluations, they're good because they do give you experience, but try and get out of the habit of blown one, take another, blown one, taking another. Just get one. I'll tell you something, if you've got one and you've managed to hold it for a month and you're being concerned about it charging again, don't worry about that. If it's only costing you $35 a month, trust me, that is not a lot to put in. But also, if you do put a lot of money into trading, try and look at it like this. So trading is a career, okay? So you're learning a career, and a career that if you stick at it and work hard and don't give up can make you potentially a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, I'm not talking about millions here. You know, the potential's there, but trading prop firms earning $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year is not difficult. I mean, if you look at the Alpine trader, just like us, but he's been doing it a few years longer, he's made about $200,000 in the last 3 months. So the potential's there. But look at it like this. Now, as you know, I'm from the UK, and if you want to go to university in the UK, a degree course is, I think at the moment, it's around about £10,000. That's about, what, 12,800 per year. So if you do a 3-year university course, you're talking a £30,000, that's about $38,000. Now, it's a lot of money, isn't it? But people, you know, if an educator will tell you absolutely go to university, get a degree, it's worth its weight in gold, and it is, and it's worth your career. So think about when you put money into trading, learn to trade, and however you lose it, just think about you're investing in your future, investing in a career. Because I spent so much time beating myself up over putting money in, you know what I mean? So, okay, so that break did work nice. See, after this, it's a bit choppy. I'm still a little bit unsure about whether we're going to come down and make a new low from there. Yeah, oh mate, if all it's costing you is $35 a month, trust me, that's nothing. It really isn't. And what I'll tell you about yourself straight away by you telling me that, if you can manage to keep one for a month, you're ahead of a lot of other people. Because most people will blow really quick because you'll start taking risks. You know, once you start moving, you stop taking risks and thinking, well, it's only $30. But you kind of... you're kind of killing yourself in a way, but we all do it. It's very hard not to, but you know, if you're genuinely, it's only costing you $35 a month, and it's it's taken out of your money again. I really won't worry about that. You know, to learn to trade, it's only costing you $35 a month. Not only that, you get free use of Apex normally. If you want to use Apex, if you want to use NinjaTrader, you pay for a license, or you pay for, you know what I mean, pay for data. So it's not a lot, honestly, it's not. So I really won't worry too much about that. Where are you from, bud, anyway? Where are you from? Where's that name from? Seblo. Where's that? Where are you from? Also trading one like you. Yeah, see, if you're in the UK and you're doing a 3-year course, it's going to cost you £30,000. But people don't bat an eyelid. In fact, are you from Texas? I got you. Okay. You know, most people in the UK that leave university are leaving them with 30 grand's worth of debts. They're going to be paying off for a chunk of their life. Only if they earn a certain amount of money, though. So I won't worry about putting money into it, but limit it and be sensible. Because you really can throw money at this. Trust me, I've done it. I'm probably the king at throwing money at it. But I've learnt the hard way. And if I can sort of help you to not, do the stupid things I've done, you'll get a better experience, because it can mess with your head. You ask other guys here, it can make you feel down and miserable at times and snappy. My wife said she got to the stage where she'd dread me come down from trading. Not that I'd be nasty, but she'd dread that I'd just blown another account or something like that. But it's a great business, and the fact that you're going to have the freedom you just can't have doing anything else. Work your own hours. I think typically most traders that trade this style that I know tend to probably do around about the 3 hours a day. Now, you tell me a job where you work for 3 hours a day. I wouldn't even class that as part-time job. 3 hours a day, it's nothing really, is it? It's a part-time job, if anything. Part-time job with very, very good full-time pay. So yeah, it is coming down. You can see it, but it's doing it very. We go down, chop, down, chop. So it just make things a little bit clear. So there was 2 trades there, both made 2 points, but both 4-bar risk, which is a little bit on the large side, especially because it's a little bit sideways. And what made me a little bit nervous, the fact that the NQ had already made a new low. Now, you didn't know it was going to continue down, but okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick few-minute break and make myself a coffee. I like to get up and stretch my legs after an hour. So let me just pop that on there. 5 minutes. I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Why hasn't it come up? There we go. Okay, I'm back. Okay, this is continuing to go down. We may get another leg here. Let me have a look. Have we made a measured leg on the NQ? We may have done. Yeah, we're already way past that. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, my friend? Stop by to see how things are with you yesterday. Not too bad. We've done quite a lot of this shoppy stuff sideways, so I kind of wish I'd have taken that now. I should have gotten on a limit order actually, so it did trigger and then pulled back. But I just wasn't sure about this channel. Anyway. First time I've actually took 2 second entry trays today. Let me have a look, see if I can tell you where they were. Is that one of them, or was that one of them? And that one as well, possibly. In fact, the more I look at that one, I don't think it was that bad. Actually, we came down and tested this 3 times. So there was one there, sort of like more of a triple test here, and a second entry short there, and they all worked. And I stayed out of all of them. Sensible. Yeah, it's not often you can get this. Place for second entry. 10ish past that. I got you. 6 ticks each. Yeah, that's a pretty safe way, that is. Are we making 2 legs here? It's possible the way this thing seems to be pointing south. So what I'm looking for now, we got a touch, nice looking channel. I'm looking for a nice break with a decent entry bar. Let me just check there's not 2 legs here. Well, we're already past that, so. Just put that down there just to see where we could get to. Let me have a look at this daily. So we had that first bar, didn't we? Then we came back a bit. Then we came down again, then back a bit more. And it does look like we may sort of break this area here. Let me have a look. May do something like that. Although we haven't got through here just yet. We're not far off there. Okay, see if we can get something here that looks suitable. Yeah, I've got 5 at the moment. I traded the news with one yesterday. I went in with 5 contracts and it worked in about 3 seconds. I've never traded the news before, but I know the Alpine trader does it, so I thought I'd give it a go. And it worked. So I had another one a couple of days ago. So I wanted to get to 5 and then just leave it there and not getting any more evaluations or PAs, just leave it at the 5. So it's kind of where I'd sort of think it's a reasonable starting place. 10 I think is too much for me at the moment. 20 definitely too much. So I'd like to just stay at 5 and every payment I get, just maybe add a couple. I picked up PA a few days ago, or going on that CPI. Yeah, it was yesterday I think I did it. Yesterday I think it was. There, yeah. I was going to actually open up a trade, but I just had a long open there and it shut down and then shut up and pinged me. So it worked okay. I know the what's it guy does them quite a lot, doesn't he? I think Nuttis does them as well, and the Alpine guy does them. Okay, so a little channel break, new high. So let's see if we can get something here, maybe a lower high. But yeah, it's quite effective. I mean, I wouldn't normally do them, but as we can get funded in a day, I kind of don't mind doing it that way. If you can get in and out in one trade. Okay, see if we can get something here. Looking for a lower high below here somewhere. Just check there's nothing large here. I don't think so. So we've got a touch there. A couple of touches there. A bunch of them there. So we can't argue with that. So hopefully we may get a short here somehow, somewhere. He's ahead to clash. Yeah, you take it easy, buddy. Education comes first, absolutely. So on the NQ, we've had a channel with a break and a new high, and we're getting a bearish bar now. So I'm looking for a lower high below here.
Order submitted.
Do that like that. It's weird. Let's swell it. Well, this is not working. So many times it does this as a break, as a new high. It's not even a second entry or anything there.
Order cancelled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
I'm down to 2 lost too early tonight. Tis hard and it's not easy. So if we trigger this high or low and then come down. I kind of wish I'd taken that one now. The more I look at it, the more I like where that bar is. 1, 2, 3. Should have taken it. That one, trouble is very close to these lows, but that one, got a few trades on NQ. I am done. Yeah, you too, bud. Have a nice weekend, mate. That's what you want. If you can always end off Friday on green or even on 0, if anything, much better than ending it on a deficit. There's kind of a second entry long there. Nice to see that trigger and then come down for lower high. Is there something larger? Maybe. Hmm. It looks like a failure on the NQ, trapping that long, but it doesn't seem to be in a rush to come down. Just check there's no channel working up. I don't think there is. Got this channel down, which I like. 2 attempts to go up with a push down. We can get a second entry short up here to push down, then I won't mind going for that. Give us a setup here. Second entry short off the top there, so I just don't like that stem. Channel down, 2 attempts go higher. Are we going up? Looks like we may well. There we go. Now let me just check there's nothing larger here from there. Uh, I'm not sure about that. What trades did I take? Sorry, but I was just saying. Before we had this bigger channel, we had a tight channel here with an overshoot, and then we had a bounce, 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 a triple test. Started to push up, and then it gave us that bearish bar, so I decided to get out of it for a tick. I think it was when that one came back. But we had that sort of tight channel with the overshoot, so I thought bounce, 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 and up. But, you know, these trades you get into and you think, oh, I probably didn't give as much thought to that. So I just got out of it plus a tick, luckily. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, I wish I'd have taken that now. It was 4 points. In all fairness, I should have got in on a limit order, so we're clearly coming down. 1, 2, 3. That's a perfect triple test. It's just finishing perfect where it is on there, and it came down lovely. Why didn't I take it? I know it's 4 point risk. It came down 5 1/4 points, so 2 points there, or 2 1/4, whatever you took. Whatever you take, that clearly works. There was a second entry short stroke, failed second entry long there. That went down for comfortably again 2 points. My only slight concern is I don't like the look of what's going on here. it's a little bit, it's not the nicest looking channel. So I hesitated. Now, granted, it was 4 points, tick above, tick below 4 points, so that's $400 risk, and I got 5 PAs, so I'm risking $2,000 on that trade. It's quite a bit of risk, so what I should have done is took it on a limit order. The way that come back up, I could have shaved 2 points off it quite easily. And the good thing is, if you take on limit order and get in here, you've potentially got a lot more profit as well, even if you get out of these lows. If you can get on a limit order, I mean, there's 5 points there if you get out for the lows. But, you know, sometimes you hesitate. That one spooked me a little bit. Sometimes you're not sure and you hesitate. I think if you hesitate and something doesn't feel right, it's probably best to stay out. Now, what I will say is, I think at times, I think most traders go through it where you're a little bit nervous about taking a trade. I've read about it before. Sometimes you get spooked, you get a couple of losers, and you know. But what I will say is, you're not going to lose money doing that. So I'd rather be overcautious than just a bit too careless. So I don't mind so much. I just need to wait for an obvious setup, which I think that was it actually. But there you go. I got that. It never bothers me not taking a trade if something doesn't feel right. Whether it's more of a psychological issue or what, you're never going to lose any money by leaving a trade. So this to me, is this a nice channel? I don't know. I still like to think we're going to come down. Mind you, why didn't we come down after that break and push down, which tells me maybe we aren't. Maybe this is pushing up. Maybe there's the channel on the break and the new low. Just incidentally, I'm just looking at Bookmap, and there is a lot of orders between 96 and 98. Which is basically the bottom of that. 96 and 98. In fact, just below 96. Let's come down about here. There's lots of sell orders in that area there. And I think what's happening is, by the looks of things, it seems to be using that there. Picking some of them off now. Leg and a leg. Just wondering. There's nothing down here. Nothing. So does that mean we're just moving up or what? Yeah, there's about 1,400 orders in this area. Yeah. 97, a big chunk of them. Okay, let's smash straight through that little area. See how it's topped off right on there. Now, what's price going to do? Now, just wondering if that overshoot is going to take us down some. So I'm just looking on the NQ. We've had this channel down, we've had a break, we've had a new low. We've come back and tried to retest this and pushed up. So we've got a leg and a leg. You've got a break. So after that break, I suggest a little bit more. It looks like a hidden second entry. Clearly two little legs down. I'd be interested to see what happens here, whether it pushes up, makes a new high. If that's the case, maybe we just get a correction here and continue on up. There is a lot of liquidity around the 210 to 215, which is up this area. Yeah, which is right sort of at the top of there. So let me just look there. So there's a possible leg with a possible leg, which should get us up to this area. So maybe we're going to get a correction. It's just going to carry on. Interesting. But yeah, if you look at Bookmap, there's a really thick load. It's bright red right up here, right towards the top, sort of right in the middle of there. That's interesting. Interesting, that is. Second entry long, we're off the key entry point here. See if we can get a higher low there. My only slight concern is because of that overshoot, we come down again, but it's probably a leg, a break and a leg. What is it, 11 ticks, isn't it? See if we get a higher low. Yeah, just wasn't sure about that after the overshoot. Where was the correction? There was a correction down to here, so it could have triggered in, come down and worked up. That was my slight concern. After an overshoot, I usually avoid going long straight away. That's why I left that. It would have worked. But whenever there's an overshoot, you just don't know. Sometimes it'll get a correction. We didn't quite make a full correction. Other times it'll push up a bit and then drop, so we'll have a leg and a leg. It looked okay on the NQ, but if we wouldn't have had the overshoot, then I'd have gone long there based on looking at the NQ. So the NQ still gives me good information, but that spooked me a little bit. There is a lower high there, maybe a couple of legs back. I'm just not sure what's going to happen with this. I was hoping to get a triple test. There's a failure there. I'm just not sure about this. I don't know whether we're going to have a leg and a leg, so I don't want to be getting in there. If that is an overshoot, which it looks like it could just have 2 legs back and then it could push up. I got no idea really. $2,000 tick, mate, not 15. Well, I follow Max System, Max Price Action, priceactiontradingsystem.com. He's a seasoned trader and he's always used the 2,000 tick chart. The ticks, as opposed to the minute or 2 minute, is supposed to give you more detail. So he tends to follow it. So I tend to. Having said that, I have looked at some people trade the 4,000 tick chart, but you know, obviously the lower the ticks, the more detail it is, and it's trying to find something that gives you enough detail. You know what I mean? So leg back. Oh, this is very tempting. Little double bottom here.
Order submitted.
It is a second entry long off that key entry point. It's going to be big though. It's just too big though. Not a lot of room for the highs.
Order cancelled.
I like the fact that it's pushed off there, which is a good sign. It's kind of a leg up and then 2 attempts to go lower. This is 15 ticks. Tick below 50. Tick below. It's 17 ticks. Thumbnail of. Oh yeah, I thought I'd do something a bit different, mate. To be honest with you, how you doing, Dean? I was talking about you yesterday. Trader buddy of mine's finding it a bit hard, and I said I'd spoken to you and John about Guardian Angel, so I think he's going to pick that up. But I'll say again, bud, and I've told you this before. Ever since I decided to get it, the emotions have just disappeared. That desire to get back into another trade as soon as I lose a trade, it's just disappeared. Ever since I decided to, it's weird, isn't it? It's ever since I said that's what I'm going to do, I kind of relaxed and thought I've now got an option, and it's just disappeared. Which is it's exciting. It's weird. It's exciting. I did wonder whether it would come back, but it hasn't. I mean, twice. Yes, I had a pretty bad week last week. I left the day with 2 trades down and 1 trade down, and I'd have always traded after, and I didn't. So it's been a godsend. I haven't actually bought it, but just the fact that I decided to seems to have just got rid of those emotions. So it's just weird how the world works, eh? It's a true angel. Yeah, absolutely. You don't even need to buy it. Yeah, exactly. Perhaps I have got my own little real guardian angel there. Weird, isn't it? It is unusual, that. But, you know, the thing is, sometimes the change in mindset or something changes. And the only way I can describe it to is we had some friends who weren't getting on. The marriage was bad. They were just constantly arguing. They decided to get some counselling. And as soon as they decided that that's what they were going to do, and they booked it and all that, they stopped arguing. They actually started getting on better than they had for a long time. So there's definitely something psychological there that you've sort of got to fix. And then it enables you to then relax and think, oh, thank God for that. You know what I mean? And I think it just seems like something seems to have worked. Just hope it lasts. Well, I can't say it won't last. Something's just changed in my head. But yeah, I was just chatting. I said you and John had got it and said it was really helping you out. The trouble is, the thing is, I mean, if it stops you from trading, I mean, you physically can't trade. It's almost like having Mac there, isn't it? Watching over your shoulder and saying, right, that's it, enough's enough. So, you never quite know what goes on in your mind, do you? Sometimes these things trigger and change something. And then all of a sudden, and now I finally managed to control those emotions. All the bloody setups have gone. Mind you, having said that, it's not been too bad today. There was a really nice triple test. I stayed out of it because the bar was a bit bigger, and there was a failure there which worked as well. So there has been a few setups today. Look at that. I had a feeling we were going to get a bit of a flush. But no, I appreciate you telling me about that, mate. But I did mention to a buddy of mine, and he said he's going to buy it. I think he just managed to get his first payment, and then he just blew his, which is normal, and then he sort of blew his accounts. So it's helping him, hopefully. Because it is hard. Once you get into that habit, it's very hard to control it, isn't it? Very hard. And if it helps you get out of the habit, I spoke about it on the Facebook group, and a couple of people said, "Oh, I don't know. If you can't control it, you shouldn't be." Well, that's how powerful emotions are, and if you use it and it gets you out of, because a lot of us get to the level where we got the skills to trade, but not the emotional control, and that's the tough bit with human beings. We work on emotions. Everything in our whole life is all about emotions. It's very hard to shut them off, and I think the only thing, and I've said this from day one, the only way it works is time. But perhaps it was a combination of time and just that relief that I found something that finally, we've all heard people talk about changing that mindset, and I think finally, I found something. So long may it last. I just hope we get some setups now. So second entries, high lows have all but disappeared, haven't they? But Mac was saying last night, actually, that, markets are tough at the moment. There's not a great deal of setups around. So he'd have been through this before, wouldn't he? Setups don't all of a sudden just disappear. It's just probably a phase we're going through. Things change from time to time, but so what are we doing here? There is an overshoot and attempt. Are we actually coming down? See, overshoots can result in a correction. We kind of had a small one there. Sometimes it'll come back and make a new high or attempt to make a new high, and then sometimes it'll tank. So I'm not sure whether we're actually making a new channel. We certainly could be, or whether it's more of a couple of legs and we're going to continue on higher. I don't really know. It is a bit, looks a bit all over the place really today, doesn't it? Not the neatest of looking. See, looking on the NQ here, that channel fits quite nice. We've got a touch here, and a touch there, and it fits beautifully along the top side. And we've had a break and attempt to go higher. Now, usually we'll make more than one attempt, so we've got 2 legs down. So whether we'll try again, it's hard to say. But we've had that overshoot, and that makes me nervous about going long. So I might just have to sit through this and see what happens. If it does give us a good signal bar here to go long, and the NQ's looking right, then I don't know. I may bottle it. I do seem to have lost my nerve a little bit taking a trade, which is I'm all right with. I think it's all part of the journey. Sometimes you jump in too quick. Other times you're a bit nervous of jumping in, and I think it's something most people go through. I think everyone goes through it at some point. But I'd certainly rather be on the overprotective side than the sort of couldn't give a crap type side. So that does look like 2 legs. Leg and a leg. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we could push up now, or we could work in a channel, have a bearish bar, maybe trip some longs and trap some longs and come down. So that makes me nervous. So we've got a channel there, hidden second entry short, possibly, maybe trapping some longs, thinking we're going higher. I don't know at the moment. It's not the easiest chart to read today. I should have kept my balls and took that trade when I had the chance. I'd have been done then. There's also a second entry short and a triple test then. 1, 2, 3, another triple. I didn't even notice that. Or did I? I can't remember now, but second entry short, stroke triple test. That worked like a dream. And another triple test and a failure. It was a slightly bigger bar. If it's a good enough setup, but I mean, look at that. I could have got in there for about 1.25 points if I'd have stuck a limit order in there. So it's no excuse really. I don't know whether it is a bit of nerves or not. So, possible hidden second entry short. After that overshoot, I'd say it's more likely to come short. But I don't know at the moment. Same again, it's going to be a big bar. So, it's 3.5 points. It ain't finished yet. Tick above, tick below. It's same again, 4 points. Seems to be making some larger bars on these signal bars because the ATR, theoretically, that should be around about the 3 points with a tick above and below. But that was 4 points, and that was 4 points, that was 4 points. So I'm just not sure after this channel. Maybe we just got a couple of legs back and it'll work out. See, there's going to be some shorts there, isn't there? From the overshoot. And look what happened. It's triggered and it's pushing up. So trouble is I don't want to go long here because we could get a second entry short. A genuine second entry short, first entry. Push up to here and then drop again. So I'm just going to have to sit tight again today. As I say, I'd rather finish on a 0 day than a loss, especially on a Friday. It's always nice to either make nothing or make something. Touch, touch, touch. Maybe. I don't know. That worked. Maybe something like that. Excuse me. Sorry. Good afternoon to you, Indy. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? That ATR's been high today, isn't it? 2.61. Are we in this channel? Anybody else got it like this? Maybe a little spike in the channel. I'm not sure, actually. We've definitely got a bearish bias anyway, that's for certain. I'm not doing well. Glad to see you switched out of that dark, foreboding thumbnail. Something a bit more positive looking. It is a little bit brighter, isn't it? Yeah, it was a little bit dark, wasn't it? Yeah, I know. I was flicking through it last night and I had a look at that and I thought, oh, that looks a little bit more jolly, doesn't it? Sadly, not a picture of me. I wanted something pretty, a little bit more stud-like. So I thought I'd avoid a picture of me and stick someone else on. I don't know who he is. Yeah, it's a little bit more exciting, isn't it? Yeah, I think the other one is almost like a hacker stroke gamer living in a dark room in his parents' basement, I think, really, isn't the other one? What are we doing here? Oh, dear. Okay, so there's definitely an overshoot there. No argument. I was hoping we were going to get back there. So, hello, new lows of the day. So that's quite a steep push. You got anything else down here? There is a little bit of support down here. So I would expect us to have a bounce at some point. What time is it? How long have we been going for? 2 hours and 45. I may knock on the head in a bit. I wish I'd have taken that one, actually. But the trouble is, at the time, you make a decision for whatever reason. I just didn't like this channel. I think I had it like that initially. It was touching and touching. Then we had a bit of an overshoot, so you don't know when it's going to trap you and push up to this line or make a... So I just had a bunch of... You've got to make a decision, and you haven't got a lot of time to do it, but we had a touch, a touch, a touch. It was fitting nice at the top. Then we had a touch at the bottom, a touch there, and then we seem to have an overshoot with a strong push up. So you don't know whether it's going to tease in some shorts here, but you know, I see Mac doing this all the time. He'll have his channel like that, and then something will change, and then he'll adjust it. But at the time, what do? You just got to make a decision, and it was a 4-point risk. So I just thought, if I don't feel comfortable, just let it go. You know, plenty more trades in the sea, isn't there? But you know, in the grand scheme of things, now it worked nice. But you know, if it is an overshoot, then we got like a correction, a push up, a drop, and so it's one of those things, isn't it? You've got to make decisions at the time, and the trouble is, it's quite a fast moving market. You get realistically a few seconds to think about it, and sometimes I think the sensible option is, if you're not sure, just stay out of it. You're never going to lose any money, are you? Okay, so channel down, clearly touch, working nice, touch at the bottom, and then drop. Down for the new highs, new lows today, so it makes sense we're going to get back to the EMA. I still don't like having a go at these. It's still technically counter-trend trading, isn't it? So So what we're going to do now, what time is it? Let's give it 10 more minutes and I'm going to go for the day. I think I've got some stuff to do in the garden. Weather's nice at the moment in the UK. Where I am, it's 18 degrees centigrade, which it feels quite nice out there. My pool will go up in about a month. Sounds a bit glamorous, but it's just one of those Intex steel frame PVC pools. It's 12 foot by about 3 foot deep, so it's a great plunge pool for good for kids. And if it's an hot day or a hot night, I've been out there in the middle of a thunderstorm. I have on a baking hot night. Probably not the sensible place to be in water, but there you go. But it is nice for a nice cold dip. So that'll go up in a month. So I'm just going over the grass and just leveling it all. I got a couple of tons of sort of topsoil stroke sand, so I'm just leveling it all, reseed a bit of it, and just basically tart the place up ready for the summer. Patio needs a good clean. It's covered in moss and all sorts of crap from the winter. So I'll get the jet wash out over the weekend, clean that up, and make it ready for the summer. It's definitely much nicer working from home in the summer. I started going to the gym, I think, from September, and then when it started getting cold, I stopped. So I'm going to start getting myself back into a routine, up, daughter to school, gym, shopping, dishwasher, and then trading. It's always nice to get yourself in a bit better shape for the summer, isn't it? Get out, get a little bit of a suntan, makes you feel a bit better. I rarely go out lately, I do. I've got a few mates who are drinkers and they're constantly, when you're coming out. So I'm going to spend a couple of months and get myself. I've got up to about 15 stone sitting on my bum doing this, so I can shift a stone in a bit. Get myself in a bit of a shape, get myself a tan. It's definitely nicer working from home, definitely. Okay, I overshoot. Perhaps we're going to get a leg and a leg. There is technically a higher low, although we're clearly working down today, so I really want to be avoiding longs in an ideal world. It's still quite a choppyish looking day today. We've got a lot of this sort of unusual sort of angles and that. It's not what you would consider a nice smooth channel. Same again there, how I had that. There was a bit of an overshoot there. It's just a bit odd. Bit of an odd channel today. Definitely some chop around and a little bit unpredictable. Or maybe it's just me. You get a few losses in a week and it sort of knocks your confidence a bit and you tend to avoid things. If I hadn't had those losses, I'd have probably had a couple of winners today, but it happens sometimes, so a nice weekend off. Set myself up with a nice new bottle of scotch over the weekend. Get out and do some work in the garden, clear my mind a bit. I'm going to get up to the gym as well, so hopefully I can start nice and fresh on Monday. Something nicer about going out in the garden and doing a bit of hard work, and that makes you feel a bit better. The trouble when you're sitting on your arse all day, you just don't really get any exercise, do you? So, as from on Monday, I'm starting back at the gym, get myself back into a routine. If you got a, healthy mind as well, it helps you, doesn't it? Okay, so clear overshoot, and then we got a leg with a break and a new high and a bearish bar. Now, I wouldn't want to go short there just at the moment because of that correction. With overshoot, I prefer a correction or something, but that okay, so there is a possibility it might just be a wider channel. I don't know. It could be a 2-tier channel. We're actually working that tier, so maybe it's okay. Would it work on the NQ? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the price action day. It might just be me, really. It might not be price. It might just be how I'm sort of feeling about it at the moment. Okay, you know what? I'm going to knock it on the head there. We're about 6 minutes off 3 hours. Took a trade earlier, but basically shit myself and got out of it for a tick. I probably shouldn't take that. I took one of these about a month ago and it lost, so I should probably avoid these, really. I think what happened is we got a tight channel with an overshoot, and then we had bounce, 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 and I thought, yeah, we go straight back to the EMA. And it triggered me and came down, and I thought, oh, balls, what have I done? So I got out there when that one came back out for a tick. So I'm quite glad I did, otherwise I'd have been out there for... the ATR is quite high today, so I think most risks are really going to be 3 points and above. So what else have we had? We've had a channel there with an overshoot. We've had a break out to the eye, and it seems like we're in a bigger channel. I'm not too sure. We're definitely coming down, so it's probably as close as we've got. But I was a bit unsure about here. This for me was looked at an overshoot, and if I think there's an overshoot, I'll generally avoid shorts if it's an overshoot from a downtrend, because you just never quite know. But whether we had a bit of a correction, we certainly came out the top of the channel, which is probably a correction, so which is why I avoided it. But actually, the more I look at it, the more I like it. But it was 4 points, but what I could have done is come in on a limit order. I mean, even if I come in on a limit order halfway, it'd have picked me up. It could have been a 2-point risk. And the good thing about coming in on a limit order is instead of coming at the bottom, your order's here. So, you know, there's potentially a lot more profit depending on what you go for. But even if you go for 2 points there, getting in there, I mean, you're out literally a few ticks below the bar. So sometimes it's worth it. And there is a second entry short stroke failed second entry long there, which same again would have comfortably done 2 points. Channel down. There was a bit of a break here, but you know, when you get into that frame of mind of being a little bit unsure, so I left that as well. Nothing I like down here, maybe a break. Was there anything here? I don't like what it's doing. It's sideways, up, sideways. A little bit of an overshoot, so I avoided going long, although that would have worked. Hidden second entry short there. That worked. Channel up, break new high. You know, sometimes when you get in that frame of mind, you get a little bit of nervous. That trade spooked me there. And the ATR has been quite high today. Bars have been quite large. So, I don't know, some days you just, I don't know, something doesn't work, does it? I'm not a massive fan of the price action, although it is working. But, you know, sometimes when you feel like, I kind of like this, but I don't trust it. So I think sometimes you're better off just, you know, taking a day off or you know, maybe just not trading for the day. But sometimes our moods change, don't we? We're not sure about stuff. So sometimes I think if you feel like that, you might be better off finishing a bit early. So there you go. That's me done for the week. Another week gone. So look, if you're carrying on trading today, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. I figure you probably will, actually. There are some around. And also, I've just noticed prices moving pretty fluently. There's been a fair amount of price action, really, so far. So I hope you get a setup. I certainly hope you end up green going into the weekend. It always makes the weekend a little bit nicer. So I appreciate your comments. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back again on Monday, and hopefully I can get myself into that. If I can grow some balls over the weekend, hopefully I can get myself back into taking some trades. So have a great weekend. Stay safe, and then we'll do it all again on Monday. Bye for now.